I'm doing the wave. I'm the only one here, but I'm doing the wave because I'm so excited. We are back, episode 114.
114. Wow, what a month it's been. How are you?
If I was any better, they would have to drag me behind a bus across town. That is how good I am. Honestly, I mean, no, it's been great. I've missed you. It's been tough.
I miss you. I know it's been a crazy month, but we're
been
winding
busy.
down.
It really is.
Yeah.
And we had I had a visitor that didn't leave. I had a visitor that ended up staying.
Yeah, I see that you've been invaded. I think you might want to call the authorities.
Yeah, he's a deep breather. Okay, he's he's very, very loud. And he's been standing in the back corner, just not doing anything. I don't know what his issue is. So
tell us. Oh my God.
I put some fun stuff up on Instagram last couple of days. And so I have been a Star Wars fan for decades. When I was a kid, me and my friend Bobby Gasper would have lightsaber fights in my attic. And we would use curtain rods, my mother's old curtain rods. We would like lightsaber duel until they bent. And so I really I had a huge love for the movies. But, there's only one true love in my life, and that's Rocky. And there's only so much room in my life. So, at some time in my life, I had to put it on the back burner. But I had made an original costume from stuff around the house. Plus, my father had taught me to sew. My mother-in-law was a seamstress, and she had given me some extra tips. So I had built from scratch a complete Vader outfit, which it was cheesy looking, but I would wear it and I would go to local malls at Halloween and, just make kids smile and stuff. I never got paid for it, nothing like that. And I used to have it on a mannequin in one of the bedrooms. And whenever we had guests over, it would scare the hell out of them. Anyways, as Rocky began taking over the house in my life, I put the stuff away. And Home Depot, of all places, this is the first year they've done this. It's an outdoor animatronic. It's this Vader thing where it moves, it talks, the lightsaber lights up, the chest, the deep breathing, the head turns, and he has like 3 or 4 sayings. James Earl Jones' voice comes through. It's fantastic. And, these ones that come out of like, Icons and a couple of other Hollywood groups, they cost like $11,000 to get one that is so precise and so perfect. This is a poor man's version of Darth Vader from Star Wars, the first Star Wars movie.
Right.
It's designed because there's a little close-up of it there. Yeah, you can see there's various differences as the movies go on. It would go and change. And the cape and the underrobe there, it was folded. There was a lot of creases in it. So I spent an hour this morning with a steamer, holding the steamer up to it, letting it all, get it. And there's a sensor on the chest thing, right? So if my head went up too high or my arm moved up as it would go off, the lightsaber would come down and conk me.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, you got to do a video of that.
I know, I should.
In action, yes.
It is funny. So I just put it on. I realize now there is the thing where you can just put it on for lights only. And, the sensor won't go off. But, I've been changing up the room here over the last couple of weeks. I've been thinking I'm just going to add a few more things. Not much. I mean, it's still 99% Rocky. But 2 other movie franchises that these movies I probably watch 10 times a year, maybe more. Jaws, Ghostbusters, and the Predator series. So the Predator is that is my favorite monster movie next to The Creature from the Black Lagoon. And you can see there's a little thing in common. Creature from the Black Lagoon it just kind of reminds you. Maybe it could be a distant cousin of the Predator. But I love the Predator. This is that was a 12-inch action figure. And of course, I set him behind Beast Cologne from Rocky 2. And here you go. To the left is a McFarlane Jaws model that came out 15, 20 years ago, which I love. It's Jaws, and you could just barely see Quint is in Jaws' mouth. And of course, the Ghostbusters mobile given to me by my good friend Charlie. as a gift. Yeah, and there's just some other pictures. You see, I still have it surrounded with Rocky
stuff. Right? Yes, of course, that's the law.
Yeah, that is the law. I am the law. Yeah. So that is the thing here. But my life has been going very well. This has been the busiest year by far I've had with the tours. That's going well. I'm very happy with that. Mom and dad are doing good. Jay and Debbie are doing well, and Sue is alive and kicking, and she is taking names and working hard too. So that's it for me. What about you?
I'm good. And we are winding down. Mom should be home Thursday. Actually, when this airs, she'll be home. It's we always report on a Tuesday. So Mom will be home, and Dad is. You want to know the cutest thing?
Yeah.
So Dad, he's 89, so he doesn't have a lot of gas. He doesn't have, he doesn't go on these long walks. He's not on a treadmill. When the date was set that she was coming home yesterday, he was doing these walking laps around the apartment like Mom's coming home. It was adorable. He was counting the minutes for her to get back here.
He's getting his calisthenics in. He wants to look buff for his chick. Come on. I get that.
He's so cute. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I don't know. I just feel like walking. And he's walking around. He's so cute. Oh my God. It was so funny. And I was on the phone with Mom. I'm like, you realize he's doing laps around the apartment? That's how excited he is right now.
And you're doing well. You're still alive. I see.
Right. I'm hanging in there. What's my life? My life is taking care of them right now. I say it all the time. The story doesn't change, at least not right now. And it just got so busy taking care of my dad because without his companion, they started to take care of each other. Now she's gone. And so now I'm like, I have to sort of be his surrogate in a way, and I'm not leaving him alone all day. So it ended up being even though he's an very easy guy, it was still a lot of work. It was a long month. Yeah, long. Then 2 months. She's been gone over 2 months now. It's been crazy.
Well, speaking of months and the passage of time, this is episode 114.
114.
What was going on in 2014 in the Stallone universe?
Expendables 3.
3.
Nice. I do not know the Expendables as well as I know Rocky and Rambo. I will be honest. I don't. What did you love about Expendables 3?
I love Kelsey Grammer. Grammer is a favorite. I always thought he's good.
Him.
I didn't care for the young kids. I would have preferred to see the guys do more. Ronda Rousey wasn't the worst thing.
No,
she wasn't the worst thing. No, I'm just kidding. Mel Gibson was he was fine. He was adequate, I suppose. He was okay. Sly and Arnold they were great. Harrison Ford was decent. The thing I loved about Expendables 3 was Sly's black and white winter coat that he wears. It's like a Woolrich coat almost. I forget. I have the designer. Like that jacket. That jacket's like $1,500 or something. I found the company in the jacket. Like I don't know if it was custom made, but they had ones that were comparable to that, and I really wanted one. And I found one on eBay about a year ago for about $600, and it was very much like that. But then I lost it on a bid. I was only going to go so far. So that was my favorite thing was Sly's black and white coat. I think that was about as badass as it gets. So speaking of clothing, do I look all right in red? I was very conflicted about red. I didn't know what to wear today. And then out of the blue, like a bolt of lightning, I said, okay, red. Let's go with red.
Red's my favorite color. So yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, I love red. Yeah.
All right. I look all right in it?
You do. I went good old Gen X.
I noticed. Psychedelic.
100 episodes ago was Paulo Estudante, our love Paulo. He is a men's mental health advocate. And I just want to point you all back to episode 14. He talks about his own struggle and how Rocky inspired him through those real dark chapters. And that was very inspiring to hear because we all have dark chapters. And then he started his own men's mental health page called Supporting Our Brothers. So I just want to send a shout out to him. He's really in the trenches doing the work of men's mental health, and we're just proud of him. And it was a beautiful episode 14. Want to send you all back there. All right, we have a lineup of our alum, starting with
we're gonna blow right through these.
fly through these. So I was so happy. So Tony D is at the steps with his little new baby, Vinny, who is just scrumptious. I just want to bite his toes. He's so cute. And doesn't Sly respond to the post, right? Let me get back here. I'm so out of practice. Hold on a second. Here we go. And says this. There may be another Rocky statue coming to the top of the stairs, an exact duplicate. I'm like, oh, what? So, Michael, take it from here.
So, Christmas Eve, I get, I'm going to just name drop here. I get a really long text from Sly.
Nice.
A really long text. And it was wonderful. I did not expect it on Christmas Eve. And one of the things he had mentioned, I think it was on Christmas Eve, I'm almost sure, he had said that the art museum was thinking about moving the statue back to the top of the steps. He said, can you believe that? Wow. And I don't know what Sly means by what he wrote back to Tony, but it could mean a few things. There were 3 statues. There is one that Sly has in his memorabilia room at his home. There is the one from Rocky 3 in Philly, and there's one that the Schomburgs had. Now, I don't know if they got the one from the Schomburgs, another one are going to put it at the top of the steps. I don't know if they're going to move the one from the bottom to the top of the steps. I mean, if there are 2 Rocky statues there, it seems to be that's a lot of Rocky statues in one place. And so I don't know. And I don't know how I feel about it being at the top of the steps. And here's what I'm not against it. Obviously, I'm not against it, but it's going to be an adjustment because when you run the steps now, right now, there are thousands of people that run those steps daily. When you go up there, people are running around, jumping, they're doing their thing, and they like doing it dead center, right? It's a big deal. Now you have the statue dead center again, where it was for filming and where it was for a few months. You ever see the line for the statue, especially on the weekend? You're talking 600-700 people at any given time. Now that line is going to be all over the place. Will it snake towards the back, up and down the steps? I don't know if the top of the steps.
Yeah, like from a logistic standpoint, sort of.
Yeah, I think dramatically it is the best way.
Right.
Absolutely. I think it is the one and only place. But the statue has had a new home for like 17 years. So, and it's got a nice system. It's not in the way. There's an easy flow. Things are going very nicely. So I don't know what that means. I can tell you this, and I apologize in advance. I don't know the woman's last name, but the lady who is in charge of the Philadelphia Museum of Art, her first name is Sasha, and she is a huge Rocky fan. And I know if you guys all saw the family Stallone, you know, they are going to be bringing back a bunch of Stallone's artwork for, I guess, the 50th anniversary. It could be the 49th. I'm not exactly sure. So that's going to be great to go in and check that all out. And I'm sure Sly will be back for a Rocky Day. But I'm just glad that he reached out and told Tony because it gave us another topic to go over.
I know. I was like, whoa, look at that. I think it would be cool. You know, they've had such a hard time just relocating the thing, like make the duplicate, but make it movable on, you know, big sturdy wheels or something they can leave there, you know, for whatever time period they want. But then if they have to move it for some reason, it's movable. But I would hate to see where it is the existing statue move. Just that whole spot is so beautiful.
It is.
I prefer them just make another one that's movable up top.
Maybe it will be. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be an interesting turn of events, and we'll see what happens with it.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But speaking of the Rocky World, Carl Weathers
got his star, and Mr. Larry Brehm. Of course, we can always rely on Larry right out there in
Larry's
California.
On it. Larry's the man. There he is.
There he is with Sylvester Stallone's star, and then his beautiful wife. Of course, you got to go see Stallone's star if you're going to be out there.
Of course.
But yeah, Larry and his wife sent us these beautiful pictures of Carl's star. And of course, you know, what's the obvious thing? We all wish he could have gotten his star before the poor man passed, but he has it. And hopefully somewhere in the ether, he is witnessing this event. I pray that he is.
Hey, picture of Larry. Go back to that single picture of Larry for a second.
There you go.
Doesn't he look like a tanned lean Burl Ives from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Silver and gold, silver and gold. We got to get him a little green vest and a banjo. I like that. Gosh. That's a compliment, Larry, by the way.
It is a compliment, darling.
Sam the Snowman is one of my favorite Christmas characters, right up there with Cousin Eddie and Clark Griswold.
But yeah, so Larry, thank you for sending these pictures. It's so cool to have someone from our bubble right there sending us real pictures, and just congratulations to Carl Weathers and his family who received the star on his behalf.
Stacy, there's a young lady who is going to get a huge shout out from us and a huge congratulations. Who might that be?
Let's see. Who might that be? Oh, our little Brooklyn who got to ring the bell. She is officially
the bell, Brooklyn.
So
congratulations.
You want to read? You want me to read it?
What it says.
It says, ring this bell 3 times. Well, a toll to clearly say, my treatment's done, this course is run, and I am on my way.
Right. Yay!
Sweetheart, just so proud of you. Oh my God, what a year it's been for them, the whole family, for Mikey G and Sybil, his wife.
Right.
Their other daughter, Jordan, who I think had a birthday recently. But yeah, congratulations, Jordan, sweetheart. You are made of some tough stuff, and we are so proud of you for getting through that. And I saw the announcement, and we just wanted to put up a few pictures here to say
that's wonderful,
how inspiring you are. Let's see. What else do we have on our list here?
Oh, you got a nice gift from one of our alumni.
Oh my goodness. So Christina Pecile, who does essential oils and sort of all natural medicine. And there's all these healing properties around specific oil scents and so forth. And she does these bracelets. And so she sent me, let me just take it off. It's easier. Can you see it? Yeah. So she sent me this bracelet with all these different types of stones and stuff. So like with healing properties and all that stuff, along with the scents. And I put it on my wrist and I feel very zen and calm.
We can all use a little more zen in the world.
So when my anxiety gets up, I do my essential oils. And I just wanted to say thank you. That was just the sweetest surprise when I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe they were thinking of me. And they had a beautiful trip to Italy, which is on my bucket list.
Oh my God. Some of their pictures were wonderful.
Beautiful pictures. So I am just dying to get there one day. And I'm just glad they got out there. So yeah. Did we get through our list?
No, we got Roz.
Roz. Oh my goodness. Roz. So Roz does a post the other day. She, I guess 20 miles was on her to-do list for the day. And she's on there. She's like, well, I didn't make it. I went 17. I'm like, did you hear yourself? You just went 17 miles. I don't care what your schedule says.
I don't even walk 17 feet to the bathroom.
I can walk 1.7.
It's a 14-foot walk. Jesus. That's impressive, honestly.
I'm like, that schedule is, that's a guideline. She'll get, I don't know. She's going to Berlin and she has 4 weeks left, something like that. 3 weeks left. She'll get there. Go ahead. I interrupted you.
No, not at all. Everybody knows I have nothing important to say. So
not true.
Come on.
I just want to give Roz another shout out. Honey, you're amazing. Don't forget how amazing you are. Don't forget what you've been through. Yeah. If you miss a mark by 3 miles, but you got 17 out of 20, we're all going, oh my God, I can't even breathe reading that. Never mind.
One of the major Rocky philosophies is the fact that it isn't necessarily about winning or hitting that exact goal. It's always more about what is the best that you can give. And if you hit your goal, then all the better for it. That's great. But you fall a little short. Just keep working towards that. Keep going. Keep punching, like we all say, like Rocky created, Sly created. This is one of the greatest philosophies in the world. Yeah. And I hope, Roz, you remember that, especially when you're in your run, when you're in Berlin and you're going for the run. I hope you really remember, if something happens and you got to walk a quarter mile and then go run again. It doesn't matter. You're doing it. I could never do something like that. No way. No way.
I hear you. No, and she is. She's the keep going. She is the example of that. So I just wanted to send her some encouragement that we are all wildly impressed with what she's doing. It's been years of just this journey, and she keeps going. So, do you hear a knock at the door? I hear a knock at the door.
I wasn't sure if it was a drum roll or a knock.
A little bit of both.
Our special effects department needs a little bit of money to boost up the sound. I wasn't sure. Yes.
That was epic sound effects, by the way, buddy.
Listen, I'm just happy your phone isn't going off in the middle of a podcast. Okay.
I got my dog barking, so I.
Oh, I never even heard it.
Listen, you can't hear him good. I'm like, I'm ready to go out there and kill him.
Anyway, do we have a guest today, or are we done?
We have a guest today, and we've been posting this amazing idea of his, which I just love so much. And Dave, welcome. And I'm going to say your last name, Dave Santia. Am I saying it right, my dear? Hold on, where are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for joining us. This is so great.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So did I say your last name right? Santia?
You did. Yes.
All right. Awesome. Good.
Yeah. The one thing I always hate is saying a person's name wrong.
Right.
Because no one's ever said my last name right. They always get it all screwed up. Kunda. They say it a whole bunch of goofy ways. Anyways, Dave, it's great to have you here. And as Stacy has been saying, and we've been posting, we love your art and your concept for a Rocky comic book. How did this evolve in your brain?
Oh, I mean, I could go back to the beginning of when I started, drawing, but I'm going to skip ahead.
Okay.
Well, those are all those comic book covers that I've been doing. I've drawn them all digitally on my iPad with an Apple Pencil.
Oh, cool.
Gotcha.
And I've always been a traditional artist all my life, always on, paper or canvas with brush and pencil and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then during the pandemic, I decided to dip into the foray of digital art, drawing digitally, because I couldn't get supplies,
Right.
So I couldn't go to the store, and I couldn't do this. So I ordered an iPad and I ordered an Apple Pencil. And I was always, being a traditional artist, I was always in the mindset that digital art isn't real art. It's cheating, or the computer's doing everything for you. Well, I quickly found out that that's not the case. You got to be able to draw.
Yeah.
So, and you got to be able to have the know-how on how to use these programs. And I taught myself during the pandemic.
Wow.
And and I discovered that I really liked it. I've been drawing and painting all my life. But I found out that I really liked drawing digitally, because it allowed me to be creative without having to make a mess.
Gotcha.
A lot of times, when I set everything up to do a painting or to whatever, by the time I'm done setting everything up, I don't feel like painting now.
You're right. Okay.
But my iPad, I pull it out and I start drawing. So then a couple of years ago, I'm sitting around on watching TV. I've always got to be drawing or doing something artistic. And I pulled out my iPad and I started drawing these fake comic covers of movies and TV shows that didn't have a comic, or
right.
And I started, I did one of Young Guns, the movie. I did one of that is what I did, the comic cover that you're showing now.
Yeah.
When I started drawing, I've always had this idea in my head for about 30 or 40 years or 35 years of spoofing that comic cover, except with Rocky and Drago.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And that cover was drawn by Neil Adams. It is right there. That Superman cover was drawn by Neil Adams, and the trick was for me to emulate his style. And if you notice, all of the
Stace, go back to that. Yeah, go back. I want to see that, because I know where Dave's leading here. Yeah. And go ahead.
I see Dolly.
Yep. All of the audience members in the original Superman comic, the audience members are all celebrities from the 70s.
Right.
The audience members on my version here they're all characters from various Stallone movies other than Rocky.
Love it.
I love that. I love it. I see a whole bunch of them. I think that's absolutely. But now, who's the bald guy between Wesley and Dolly down there?
You know, it's just a random bald guy.
Those are random guys because we get the back of their heads. I gotcha. Did I see Kurt Russell in drag from Tango and Cash?
Yes.
Now that is ingenious.
And the Fonz, look at that. Oh gosh.
That's actually the Lords of Flatbush there.
Lords of Flatbush. I see First Blood. I see what am I looking? Oh, I see Pele. I see what's the kid movie where he played the toy keeper?
Spy Kids.
Spy Kids. Yeah, I see the Spy Kids. Billy D. Williams from Nighthawks. Estelle Getty. I'm looking at Estelle Getty from Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Yes.
Gosh, oh my
God. Good eyes.
I tried digging pretty deep. I even have the kid from Over the Top in there.
You should be so proud of that. This is what I love about Artist Month, highlighting men and women who have done something extraordinarily different and unique. And forget your own painting, but you're painting in the Rocky world and how it relates to that and your creative nuance, which I love. I did a little painting myself, nowhere near as good as you or some of the other people in the world, but I understand that incredible. When you get that out there, that painting, it's when you put paint to canvas or digital, there's such a great feeling of accomplishment. Anyways, getting back to the Rocky covers, what brings you to do the Rockies, and how did you choose the particular images for those? Because I thought they were brilliantly chosen to represent. Yeah, so we know in this particular comic, we know what we're going to get in those pages.
Right. Well, what I did was I had a month off this past year, February. I'm a live performer with my speed painting. I paint live in front of audiences. And back in February, I was scheduled to have surgery done on I had a little skin cancer thing on my nose, and I had to have it removed. Well, I was told by the doctor that like half of my nose might have to be removed or reconstructed, or and it turns out that was just worst case scenario. But he told me that I would be in recovery for a couple months.
Yeah.
So I took all of the surgery was in the beginning of February. So I took all of February. I canceled all my bookings and didn't take any bookings. So I'm sitting there. I'm going to be, thinking to myself, I'm going to be in recovery for a while here. So I had the operation. Turns out it was nowhere near as bad as what the doctor thought. It was just a little slice, but I was still, I was not booked throughout all of February. So that's when I decided to start drawing these Rocky covers. I figured I was going to do 4 issues for each movie, which would lead to 24 issues. And I figured I'd be done by the end of February. And it turns out the first 4 issues took me a lot longer than I thought. And I did the first 4, and I did a couple of them for Rocky 2, and I think I had one done for Rocky 3, but then my iPad crashed. I had images, the images saved, but all of the extra work that I had done was gone. So
that's painful.
it sucked. It sucked, but I was lucky enough where I still had the illustrations. See, because when I do those comics, like when I do a cover, I do I'll draw the images separately in separate projects.
Yeah.
And then I bring them together into the cover. And
is it like once you have it drawn in a separate project, can you click and then you drag it over and then you put it on the screen.
Yep.
That's how you do it, right?
Yep. And then I place it.
Is this what you mean? Are these what you mean by the separate images?
No, that was a separate thing that I did altogether. I was drawing those in a virtual pencil.
Beautiful.
And but I did get a lot of the comic covers that I did were just different interpretations of those art pieces that I had already done. And and as far as like you mentioned about like the images that I use.
Yes.
I don't really associate aside from maybe Rocky IV, I don't really associate the Rocky movies as being action movies. I associate them more as being dramas.
Sure.
So I try to capture the drama element.
Yeah.
Okay.
You certainly do. Yes, you do.
Because that's the part that captures me the most is the drama element, the aspect of those movies. So I try to grab the drama aspect, the more what's the word I'm looking for? The more
like the more intense, like this one here. This is drama filled image right there.
Totally.
The more emotional.
Okay, gotcha.
Because I mean, to me, that's more what Rocky is about, more so than the action. I keep on moving my tripod here. So that's and then I just decided to just keep on going and keep on continuing, because a lot of Rocky was a big influence on my life.
Sure. And where I want to get to, obviously we're going to talk about the influence in your life, but like, you're going to do a Rocky 4, 5, you're going to do Balboa. I would love to see some Balboas.
Yep.
Oh my God.
I'm doing 4 of each movie and ending with Rocky Balboa.
Gotcha.
Hopefully with my schedule is getting kind of crazy right now. Hopefully I'll be done. I'm taking a guess here, maybe by February.
Gotcha.
So it'll by the time I'm done, it would have taken me it'll be taking me a full year to get all 24.
Oh, that's amazing. that really is amazing.
I want to show some of your speed painting. This is or what I'm assuming is the speed painting. This one.
Yes, there's a story behind that one.
Please,
tell us.
Well, as you know, I'm a Rocky fan. Now, first, let me explain a little bit about what speed painting is. Basically, I got one back here. It's a 4x5 foot canvas.
Is that Van Halen? Jim Morrison? Van Halen, right?
Eddie Van Halen, yeah.
Eddie Van Halen. I thought that's who it was.
And I perform live in front of audiences. There's another. And I do mostly charities. I perform mostly at charity events and corporate events and stuff like that. And they get auctioned off and they help charities. And basically, I'm playing music. And by the time a song or two is done, the painting is done.
Wow.
So they're all done. I do them all within like 6 or 7 minutes. And the painting's upside down.
6 or 7 minutes?
Yeah. The upside down thing.
Upside down. I don't have this brain.
You have to be an alien from another planet to have that upside down. Now, listen, I want to say something. I tried once about 35 or 40 years ago drawing a picture upside down. It took me like a month to finish it. You're doing it in 3, 4, 5 minutes upside down. How did you train yourself to do that?
It took a while. It did. It took, I've been drawing since I was a kid, painting since I was a kid. And I started doing the speed painting after seeing a video of an artist named Denny Dent, who used to do it back in the 80s. And I started doing it and doing the upside down aspect. It took some training, but being an artist all my life, it's not the first time I've drawn or painted upside down. When you're drawing, even when you're a little kid and you're coloring in a coloring book, that coloring book isn't straight up like this. You've got it like this, you got it like that, you got it all sorts of different ways. You just don't realize it, And it took me a few months to train myself to be able to paint it upside down, but that's because I already had previous experience. You know, otherwise it probably would have taken me a lot longer. But so then I started to post these videos on Facebook and YouTube and wherever, and I started to get noticed. And a friend of mine, my friend Ron Rozzy, he called me up and wanted me to paint asked me to paint at a fundraiser. And I did, and that fundraiser led to 2 more, and those 2 led to 4 more, and so on and so forth. Before I know it, I'm traveling the country, and I'm doing this, and I'm painting at this fundraiser and that fundraiser. So far, over the past 12 or 13 years, I've raised about $1.1 million through the auction of these.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, by the end of this year, it'll be at about 1.2. But that Rocky painting, I was painting at an event in Philadelphia, right down the street from the museum.
Okay.
And they wanted me to paint Rocky, and they wanted me to paint that image of Rocky in the Rocky 3 movie poster, except for with wearing the red, white, and blue trunks.
Right.
And I tried talking them out of it, because I wanted to paint Rocky, but I wanted to paint another image of Rocky.
Yeah.
Because that image, that 3/4 body, image, the face is smaller, so the detail is tighter, and I got to get this painting done in 7 minutes.
Right.
And I knew that the face would look muddled and not correct and not right, but that's what they wanted, so that's what I did. I did my best.
It looks awesome.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
I would love to see one of you do Rocky with the fedora from Rocky 1, Rocky 2, with the leather jacket, the gray, the black. Look at this.
Yep.
I love that.
That's the one that I wanted to paint at that event.
Yeah.
And I was lucky, because the event that I was at, I don't remember what the name of the venue was, but it was maybe 1/8 of a mile away from the museum.
Okay.
And I got to the event like 3 or 4 hours early.
Oh, wow.
And I wanted to walk to the museum. I wanted to see walk up the Rocky steps and see the statue. And I'm walking down the street with my speed painting gear on.
Yeah.
It's just my jeans and shirt just splattered in paint, and I got a replica of this hat, except for it's all covered in paint.
Oh, okay.
I'm walking down the road. What's the name of that street?
Ben Franklin Parkway.
Okay, yeah. I'm walking down Ben Franklin Parkway, covered in paint, just looking like a slob, and people are just running past me, all of them heading towards that museum. It was so awesome.
Wow.
I knew where they were going.
Yeah.
And I made my pilgrimage to the top of those steps. Saw the little plaque there. There's my paint splattered jeans, and made it back in time to do that painting of Rocky. What I've always wanted to do is I've always wanted to do a painting of Rocky at the top of those stairs.
Yeah.
And just film myself doing a painting. Of course, I would need to get permission, got to get a permit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you are.
Yep. There's the hat. Actually, I got it right here next to me. Here it is right here.
Okay.
Nice. I love that.
Nice.
Dave, so tell us, we love the personal story about from when you were a kid, or was it middle school, or was it when you were a younger adult? Like, how did Rocky get introduced to you, and what did it mean to you? Maybe some specific moments in your life.
Well, the first Rocky movie I ever saw was Rocky 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew about the movies, before that. My dad was into the Rocky movies.
Nice.
And I had zero interest, like absolutely none at all. And I remember a Sunday night, I believe it was a Sunday night, and I must have been about 7 years old, and Rocky 2 was on TV, and my dad was watching it, I just specifically remember watching the training scene, the gonna fly now scene, and I had absolutely no interest at all. And I just remember just watching that moment, and that was it. And then not too long after that, we got cable TV, and it was a Sunday afternoon, and me, my brothers, and my dad, and my grandpa, we were sitting in the family room, and we turned on the TV, and I guess my dad always wanted to see Rocky III. Well, that movie came on, and saw it right from the beginning, and immediately I was transfixed. Immediately when they were showing the recap of Rocky II, of them falling in slow motion, that was so intense.
Yes,
I was just captured by it, and then boom, it went right into Eye of the Tiger, and I knew that song by then. I liked that song, and then I saw Mr. T. I'm like, wait a minute, this has got to be, come on.
Maybe there's something to this trilogy. And that guy Stallone, he knew what he was doing.
Right. Because at the time I already knew who Mr. T was from watching the A-Team. Yeah. And then immediately, boom, I sat there and I watched the movie, and immediately it became one of my favorite movies. Yeah. I've watched Rocky III over and over again, that whole year. We recorded it on VHS, and then eventually I saw Rocky II. Then Rocky IV came out. We saw that in the theater. Then I saw Rocky One. Then I saw Rocky V and VI. So that's kind of funny. You're talking to an artist that paints upside down.
Right. You're all over the place. Yeah. But there seems to be a method to your madness, right? It just, when I remember watching some of your stuff a while back, and I don't understand the upside down painting with the speed. How do you know that the bottom of the coat, you've left yourself enough, like on the Van Halen? How do you know that the bottom of the coat is spaced enough from the head that you're going to have enough room on the canvas? And do you always go with a black canvas?
Most of the time, I would say about, okay, for me to say, do I always go with a black canvas? I guess I could say yes. Okay. I've done it on white canvas a few times, but it takes longer because when I do it on black, the negative space is already filled in. So if I do it on white, then I got to fill in that negative space, and it just takes more time.
So for speed, that makes total sense.
Right. As far as like centering and proportioning, I ain't gonna lie, I do have cues on the canvas to help me locate top, bottom, left, right, that sort of thing, where I gotta place the eyes and that sort of thing.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah. And the upside down aspect, like I said earlier, it just took some practice.
Stacy, do we have can you put a video up? Do we have video of a little bit of video, like a minute or 30 seconds?
I'll have him send me video, and I'll cut it in right
Gotcha.
here.
Right here. Everybody look right now. This is insane.
Right now.
So go ahead, Stace.
I was going to say, I heard about this, and tell me if I'm wrong, but the upside down, because when you're painting an image right side up, you're fighting with your brain and what your brain expects. And so you're not being as objective as you're drawing. And when you turn it upside down, the disorientation forces your brain to be very objective and actually draw more precisely, because you're not drawing what you expect. You're drawing only what you see. Is that right?
You word that much better than I do, because that's exactly what I typically tell people. Why do they ask me, why do I paint upside down? And your explanation is pinpoint accurate.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah, because when you're drawing something right side up, if I'm drawing something from if I'm looking at an image and I'm trying to draw that image and I'm looking at it right side up, I'm not paying as much attention to that image,
right?
Because I'm paying more attention to the paper that I'm drawing on, and I'm drawing what I think I know rather than what I actually see.
Right.
You know, like everyone knows what a hat looks like, right?
Sure.
Now you take a picture of this hat and you turn that picture upside down, and then it kind of takes on a new a perspective. You're seeing things that you don't normally see. So when you're drawing it, you're paying more attention to what you actually see rather than what you think you see. You know, but yeah, your description was much better than mine.
No, I remember watching a whole video on it years ago, but I was like, that makes sense. So yeah.
Dave, I'm told by just about everyone I know that I don't use both sides of my brain correctly. Do you think if I turned upside down and walked on my hands, maybe it would correct my irregularities?
I don't know.
You know, one of the things that I'm thinking about an event and you're there, and people who may not know about you, what a surprise moment it is when you flip the canvas,
right?
Because they think you're painting one way and they're trying to think, what the heck is that? And as you spin it, oh my God, it's whatever.
I get that sort of reaction a lot. Actually, it wasn't too long ago, probably a couple of weeks ago. This is so funny. I was painting at a fundraiser, and this was very recently. And you know, a lot of times when I show up, people don't know what I'm doing there, who am I, you know, that sort of thing. And everyone's wearing evening gowns, you know, suits, tuxedos, whatever. They're all dressed up, and I'm showing up. Here I am, covered in paint, you know, jeans, just looking like a slob. But that's part of my onstage, you know, persona.
Right.
And I'm sitting there, and I'm waiting to go on. And finally, I go on. I'll crank out 3 paintings in about 30 minutes, and
I can't even imagine that.
And then the paintings get auctioned off. And afterwards, this event that I just recently did, one of the winning bidders of one of my paintings came up to me, and she's holding my hand, and she's telling me, I can't believe what you did. This is great, and blah, blah, blah. Can I take your picture and all that stuff? And then she said to me, she goes, can I say a little prayer with you? Aww. And I said, yeah, absolutely. So she held my hand, and she closed her eyes, and she starts saying this impromptu prayer. And she said, you know, God, thank you for giving this man this talent and all this stuff. And then she said, and God, please forgive those who judge him based on the way he looks, like I did. And she goes, and I apologize for judging him.
What? That's awful.
No, well, no.
What a weird thing. Yeah.
But no, she was so sweet, that she was so nice. Could have left that part out. But no, right? I totally get I get it all the time. You know, I hear it all the time when I show up at an event. Someone telling me I look like a mess and this and that.
But you're a tall guy too, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm 6'9".
Are you 6'9"?
Yeah.
Oh my! All covered in paint. I mean, that's gonna get some attention, right?
Well, it's funny because I do sometimes get the looks, or the you know, they're like, oh, what's he doing dressed like that? And then I go up on stage and I do my thing, and then their attitude just totally turns around.
Changes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't help but love what you do. And I'm not saying this because you're here. I've told a lot of people about you. You see what I write about you on Instagram. I think what you do is nothing short of brilliant and impressive. And it is really a niche form of painting. There are not a lot of people that can do what you do with the speed and the skill. And I love your work. And so does Stallone. He's been liking a lot of your stuff that I've been posting, and he thinks it's fantastic. So for me, I love this. I wish I could put some of your art down here, but that's a horse of a different color, of course.
Well, I didn't want to forget to mention this because I'm looking at your painting in the background. You got the Leroy Neiman back there.
Oh, yeah, both of us, yeah.
Yeah, and that, and I was like, so I know that's a replica that I saw at the restaurant, but I was still blown away by it. And Rocky 3 was my introduction to Leroy Neiman. I had no idea who he was. Yeah, and I remember that first time that I saw Rocky 3 and that painting came up at the end, and by then, I was only 7 years old or so, but I was already into the world of art. I was already drawing and painting and real interested in it. And when I saw that painting came up, it blew me away. And I didn't know who the artist was. I didn't know anything about it. I just thought it was an awesome painting, and it wasn't a literal interpretation. It was expressionistic, and not to say it's not really abstract, but for lack of a better word, a little abstract. It's an expressionistic painting, and I remember distinctly trying to draw that painting when I was 8 years old or whatever, and then I found out who the name of the artist, and I got really into his artwork, and looking at his artwork and trying to a lot of his style. You can see his influence in my oil paintings that I do, and it wasn't until years later. Until after I got the internet, I must have been in my late teens or early 20s that I discovered what Leroy Neiman looked like and that he was in the Rocky movies.
Right.
I had no clue that was him with the mustache, the announcer.
Yes.
I had no clue.
I know. He was in Rocky 2 as Apollo's jumping rope. He's sketching him out,
You're right.
It's the story behind that painting at the Victors. So Stallone, the original Leroy Neiman is only this big. It's a very small paint. It's very small. Yeah, it's about this big. It isn't very large. What Stallone did for Balboa, because there was no money, it was a small budget. Hollywood didn't believe Sly could do what he did with Balboa. So he took a piece of cardboard and they blew it up. They printed it on a piece of cardboard. And then they put this clear gel-like substance over it. So when it dried, it gave the illusion of dried paint. Okay, as if it was textured, and then they put it on a frame in there. So Stallone has that one at his house. The one in the restaurant, there's one upstairs in the loft area.
I saw that. Yeah.
So the owner wanted to give a Philly guy a shot. So he called a Philly artist. He did that one, and he was like, it's okay. It wasn't that great. And he put it upstairs. He had a second one. There's actually 3. He sold the first one. It really wasn't that good, but it was massive. Then he did a second one, which is upstairs. And then he did the third one, which is downstairs, where you saw that one, which is pretty good. Yeah. And it's a little smaller than the one that was in the movie, but it's pretty good. And the owners wanted to embrace Rocky culture because a big part of it was, had to do with the Victor Cafe. It swayed the script of Balboa. So I get the influence of that. Have you ever seen a Leroy Neiman, like a real Leroy Neiman up close?
No, not in person. No.
I only saw one. It was at the Smithsonian. They have it's a massive wall size Leroy Neiman. When you walk in one of the doors on one of the streets, you come in and it's right there. I couldn't believe it. I turned around. I said, "Oh my God, this is a Leroy Neiman."
Oh, where's it at in the Smithsonian?
I think it's the one where pop culture is in it. It might be the one where Archie's chair is, Fonzie's jacket. I think it's that one. I
must have missed it because that's the one that I went to, and I don't remember seeing it. But
it's on a lower level as you go out the door. Like right behind it is the street. You go right out the door. It's like tucked into the side. So I don't know. It's a pastel. It's a pastel.
I'll have to next time I go there, I have to check it out because when I was there, a lot. I went specifically to that building because I specifically wanted to see Archie Bunker's chair.
Oh God, yeah.
They had that section closed off.
Oh,
I was so mad.
Well, listen, I didn't know they had Rocky's original fedora, the dark navy blue hat that he wears in Rocky 1 and 2. Stallone had loaned it out to them around the time of Balboa and Rambo 4. They had it for about 2 years, and he took it back about a month. I had gone down with my niece, and I wanted to see it up close, and he had called it back, and I was like, he didn't bother to check with me, though. I wish he could have saved me a trip.
Call you for approval.
Yes, come on now. Stacy, before I got my last two questions that I like to ask all of our guests, but before we finish up with that, anything else for Dave that you want to go over that we missed?
No, I think it's funny. You have Darth Vader in your background, and I think I see a Star Wars.
yeah,
Walker back there. Yeah, I was like, hey, I didn't know if Mike noticed that.
Yeah, I've got a little pewter Millennium Falcon and a pewter.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Those were my mom gave me those about 30 years ago or so.
Are you a Star Wars guy?
I am. Yeah.
Are you? Yeah. Have you ever done any Star Wars paintings?
Yes, I have actually.
Gotcha.
Star Wars, Rocky, and Superman are like the three things that I've been a huge fan of all my life.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Have you ever done any Michael Jackson? I'm a big Michael Jackson fan.
I have. I've painted Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson speed painting, a few times. That's another one I grew up. I grew up.
He hates his camera.
I grew up listening to Michael Jackson music and Prince too.
Yes. Yeah, that Prince one you did here is really. I loved this. Loved that.
Oh,
that's awesome.
That's kick ass. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But no, Dave, thank you. I mean, I just Rocky inspires in many different ways, and we do things with that inspiration. And you're painting, some people are writing, some people are podcasting, some people are doing tours, making movies or spin-off ideas. And I just love how Rocky sort of brings us all into these different genres, and we're expressing our appreciation for Rocky in all these different ways. So it was very cool to have you on, and just love your comic book idea.
I would wallpaper a room with the comic book.
I was thinking that because I have this whole strip on the side of my wall. I would just put them all in a row. But if the powers that be however give this a green light, we would just be so happy for you. Yeah,
I'm actually wearing that.
I love that.
I made it into a shirt for myself.
Cool.
I love that.
I wear it every Christmas because it's a Christmas movie.
That's what they say about that in Die Hard. That's one of the greatest arguments ever. Dave, I have 3 questions for you. The first one is a fairly easy question. Not when you were a kid, but when you started professionally doing your art, how many paintings either for sale, for practice, how many paintings do you think you have done? And just ballpark it.
I don't know, man.
What's it take?
Right now, how many have I done as of now?
Yes.
Probably about maybe about 700 or 800. I don't know.
Gotcha.
Probably more than that. Probably close to 1,000.
Gotcha.
I would say.
Honestly, I have no clue.
I gotcha. And then it's that many more hours just to practice from a childhood. All of the little drawings that you do, and the painting, and learning the craft, and shadowing, foreshadowing, and all the things that go with art. And did you ever go to school for it, or was it self-taught, or a little bit here and there?
A little bit of both, actually. A lot of what I know is self-taught, but a lot of it is also taken from being inspired by this teacher and that teacher, stuff that I've learned from this person, stuff that I've learned from that person. I did go to I went to high school. I took art all 4 years in high school. I did go to an art college. I got kicked out.
You're a rebel.
Yeah. Got into an argument with the head of the department. That's a whole long story. I could be there for half an hour.
I would love to hear that sometime.
Oh, definitely, for sure. High school, I failed art my freshman year in high school. I was told that maybe art wasn't for me and that I should do something else.
I love that.
I totally ignored it.
There, yeah.
And I went on to, I stuck with art all 4 years. I mean, pretty much most of my life I've been told you ain't going to get anywhere with art,
Gotcha.
No matter how good you are, because, you can't make money with art. And to be honest with me, with the charities that I do, with the speed painting, I just like the fact that a little bit of something that I do goes towards helping others, helping something, and I've done charity events where my paintings have gone for as high as $20,000, and I've done events where they barely reach 1,000. Right. That doesn't even matter to me. What matters is that I'm doing something to help. I've done the big charity events for like UNICEF, Gilda's Club, the American Cancer Society, but I've also done the small little bar events that some family is trying to raise money to try to pay for chemotherapy for their 9-year-old kid that's got cancer or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Dave, are you East Coast, West Coast, middle of the country? Where are you at?
Detroit, Michigan.
Oh,
Metro Detroit.
I love Detroit. I was out there twice. Yeah, I loved it. I always remember Joe Lewis's
The Fist.
Yeah. I thought that was so badass. I remember Jimmy Toscano taking me and Sue through downtown Detroit.
I remember when they put that fist up. I was in, I think it was 1988, 89.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was just a teenager. Not even, I don't think.
Okay, last two questions, and then we'll let you get out of here.
Okay.
If you can go back in time to a 15-year-old Dave Santia, what would you tell a 15-year-old Dave?
Keep doing it. Keep doing what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Don't ignore everyone that tells you not to do it.
Yeah.
I love that. Beautiful. Okay, last question. You're in an elevator with Sylvester Stallone. You've got 30 seconds between floors. There's nobody else in there. What do you say to him?
God, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. I think I'd just be like, hey, how you doing? And shake his hand.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Because I mean, I've met a lot of celebrities.
Yeah.
And one thing that I discovered is that they like it when you don't treat them like a celebrity.
True.
Mm-hmm.
And they just want to be treated like a normal person. And, maybe I might say, hey, Rocky's a big influence with me. And maybe that's about it. But I have always said that if I ever got to the point, this is never going to happen, obviously. If I ever got to the point where I had disposable income and bucket loads full of it, I would pay Stallone to hang out with me in Philadelphia with him in character as Rocky. I think I might have said that to you at one point.
You did. You did.
So of course that's never going to happen. Of course, because I don't have boatloads of money. And
yeah. Well, listen. One last thing just came to mind before we let you go. Do you have a painting that is your favorite painting? Whether you sold it, you kept it. I always wonder that about artists.
I get asked that a lot. I guess it's kind of like asking a parent who their favorite kid is,
right?
Because I put a lot of myself into my artwork, and what I always say is my favorite piece that I've done is the one that I haven't done yet. It's the next one.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one that's on my mind right now that I can't wait to get out. And then when that one's done, my next favorite one will be the next one.
It's coming, right? Oh, that's so neat.
Wow.
It is hard to give up every single piece that I've done. It is hard to give it up. Especially when I'm doing one of the speed paintings. Now, mind you, the speed painting stuff like that, this Eddie painting that I did, I've done it a number of times since then for various fundraisers, but each painting looks different. They all have their nuances to them. But when I paint a speed painting, when I paint an image for the first time, and I got to give that one up, tough. Now I'm a big Van Halen fan. That's the first painting of Eddie that I've done, and I kept that one for myself. I painted this the day he died.
Oh, really?
Oh my
God. I did a video, and I did a live feed on Facebook of me doing this painting live, like just a couple hours after it was announced that he died, and then I kept it for myself. But I've painted it a number of times for charity events since then.
Wow.
Dave, I could pick your brain all day. I hope it's okay in the future to reach out and give you a call and just rap on the phone for an hour, if that's okay.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You know, I tried coming down to Philadelphia this past summer. I contacted you about possibly doing the tour. I just didn't have the time. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And I just got so booked that
I got a great tour waiting for you. So whenever you come, we'll have a great time. Dave, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love our communications on social media, Facebook, Instagram. I love that we got to kind of meet here. This has been great. And Stace, anything you want to say before we let him go?
No, just thank you for your time, and you made it so easy to get this one going.
Thank
you. Very happy to have you. Thank you.
I was a little bit worried that I might have that I was going to go off topic too often, because I tend to do that.
You were good.
You were great. You were just right. Just right.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
You were great. Dave, have a great day. And until we meet again, keep punching.
Keep punching.
Goodbye, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thank you.
Wow.
Great guy.
So nice. So down to earth. Just
love it.
Genuine. Love just a genuine guy like that.
Love his style. Love the skill. Love his heart. And I just love how easy he was to talk to. I just felt very comfortable talking to him.
Right. But yeah, when you said the upside down thing, I never did try it, but I understood what that video that I watched was trying to say. I'm like, well, that kind of, definitely does make sense. So, but couple that with, you're going to get that done in 7 minutes. Are you kidding me? I'd be lucky to have a smiley face. 7 minutes.
He does it, man. He does it. I mean,
it's huge.
It is a skill. I can't think of a better way to kick off Artist Month here on the Rocky Files than with Dave. Santia. Santia.
Yeah. Well,
you know what, Dave, if you're still watching, I was telling Stacy I was going with Santia.
Santia.
Santia. What is that?
I don't know.
I'm an idiot.
Hey,
I told you I don't use both sides of my brains,
There's different ways to pronounce the same thing, but I just love, like your counselor said to you, you're like, I want to be Rocky. And they're like, no, that's not possible. And they're telling him, you're never going to make money.
How amazing is that?
I love when that stuff just works out. The big I told you so's.
Yes.
Yes.
There is something that is not at all trivial when people tell you you can't do something, and then you come back years later and you're one of the best at what you do that they said you couldn't. So it's just brilliant, and I knew I would like that guy. I knew he would be very, very good.
Yeah.
Stacy, before we get out of here, is there anything else that we missed? Do we got to shoehorn anything else in?
No, just keep in mind, folks, that this is Artist Month. We have Joel Tesh, I believe, coming up next. So
Joel's a great guy. Had him on the tour. Love him. Love his art. And he's brilliant. A great guy too.
Yeah.
Great guy. And you know what? All of you guys, if you've ever, even if you're not an artist, but all of our alumni, the people that are watching, if you've ever done any art, and it doesn't have to be Rocky art. We're talking about art in general and what it means to the world.
Yes.
Send Stacy your artwork. Just
Let's
take a
do some
snapshot
posts.
of it.
Yes.
It doesn't matter whether it could be a sculpture, it could be a clay ashtray, it could be a painting, a drawing. It doesn't matter. Just send us. And I don't know if there's a lot of artists that watch, but if you guys have something you like, send it.
Yeah, we'll do a bunch of posts.
Totally.
So, Michael, tell us about this book right here.
Hey, this is a book that I wrote called Cue the Rocky music. Cue being the operative word, as in press play on the Walkman when you're scared to try something new, when you're scared to go to sports or ask a girl to the dance. Read this book. It will definitely help. You can get that anywhere where books are sold. Stacy, there's a little movie. There it is. The Dream is Real. The Pretender, made by my good friend Jimmy Toscano and his group. It is on Amazon Prime. It is on Peacock streaming and except Netflix. Although there may be something happening with Netflix and yours truly. You never know. So
more to
Stacy, more to come. Stacy, where can people find you?
I am at Had Me at Yo on the on Instagram. I'm out of practice. I'm on Had Me at Yo on Instagram, on the Rocky Files on Instagram, and the Rocky Files podcast on Facebook. And
one thing Stacy forgot to tell you all. This is something I was surprised you forgot, Stace.
What? Oh, dear.
I mean, it's glaringly obvious to the rest of us. Stacy grew a Sylvester Stallone head out of her left shoulder.
I know, isn't it? See, he's with me.
That's been freaking me out the entire show. It's like you can talk to him if you're bored.
This is from Mr. Joe Mangiaracina. You see over here, my fabric. This is fabric.
Ah, yes.
And this is another. He sent me a second one, and I have to hang it, but I've kind of liked it right here on the back of my chair. I gotta hang it though. I promise I'm gonna be hanging it over there.
That's awesome. Hey, Stacy. Until next week. Keep
punching.
Punching, my friend. I will see you next week.
See you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.